Hello, this is another recording where I will do life philosophy, and in the process, hopefully, we together come to a deeper understanding of our minds, how they work, and maybe even reality, and to a deeper experience of this beautiful life. What I want to do in this video is thinking about one of the most important questions, and this is, where do we actually come from? And I don't want to go as far as the origin of life itself, but it is kind of connected, obviously. But the question is, where do humans come from? So maybe you think this is a ridiculous question because it's obviously solved, but I hope I can show you that first of all, it's not so obviously solved, and second, that it is kind of extremely strange that so little of our collective space, when you think about social media or even TV, movies, maybe there we sometimes get a little bit into it, is concerned about this question, because shouldn't it be way more in the center of attention for us as a collective? I mean, it is kind of important where you come from, is it? Because obviously, I guess you are a human if you watching this video. So it is connected to who are you. So, and I think that is some very important thing to find out. Who are you actually? So, and as you see, this is part of the question. So, there are some more present and obvious answers to these questions, and I will present another one that at least I think is not so present, and mainly I came up with the idea myself. The first one is the Darwinistic evolutionary explanation for the question. So there is a process of evolution happening over hundreds of millions of years, even billions if you put the whole universe into it. And through a sophisticated process of adaptation and gene mutation, there are increasingly more complex forms of life, and on one end of this big tree of different species or life forms, we are there as humans. So, and if you go a little bit back into the tree, there is the group of the apes, basically, where we separated on a common ancestor a few million years ago. At least that's my knowledge of the theory, the answer to the question, where you come from. So this is very present, this understanding here in the Western world, where I also grew up out of. But interestingly enough, if you go to another place on this planet alone, so to the Middle East, for example, if you ask the same question, the absolute majority of people will give you another answer. They will say, yeah, we will obviously create it by a supreme being, to keep it simple for now. So, and the thing that you have to understand here is, because sometimes you forget this, when you are only in the circle of people that are so similar to you, so that this is another answer to the question, and for some, it's on a whole cultural level, this is the main answer to the question. So you see, we're already having a problem here, but I will come to this later. And this idea is basically there is a supreme intelligence. No, there are different versions of this. No? I want to keep this, put this here too, because this is also important to maybe at one day really figure out a good answer to the question, because there are different mythologies on different parts of the planet. Even here in the Western world, the answer a few thousand years ago would have been a different one. So there is this monotheistic view, or there's polytheistic, so there's this collection of beings that created us as humans, for example. So I want to give you another explanation. What about we are not even from this planet? I mean, at this point, with our understanding of the cosmos, of our galaxy, it seems kind of extremely probable that there are other advanced life forms. And what if we as humans are not even from here, but we came from another planet to this Earth here? Because if you think about it, do you know anybody, may it be your friends, families, anyone you saw in the internet, on TV, whatsoever, that is really 100% healthy in mind and body? And shouldn't you be when you actually evolved on this planet? Because when you think about some animal, I think that is extremely well adapted are the big apex predator cats, for example. You talk about the puma or the lion or something like this. And when you see them, they look incredibly healthy when they're in nature. So incredible, all of them. They're so well adapted, and normally when you see them, extremely healthy. Or some of the great whales, for example. In my knowledge, if you know better, please correct me in the comment section. That whales, their body can kind of like get rid of cancer cells in itself. So at least in my knowledge. So that seems to be way better adapted than we are. And then you have to ask the question, maybe we are not really good adapted because we're not even from this planet. This is not our origin. Maybe we came here with super big spaceships whatsoever a few thousand years ago, and we all forgot about it because after a few generations, information got diluted. So this is another one, another origin story. So, and now we come to the interesting part. Because many people, they pick one thing, and this is now a specific example, and maybe it makes you really angry, because for many people, the answer to this question, this is at the core, at their belief, the core of their identity too, and they don't want to shake on it, because then, you don't know who you are anymore, is it? No, it's kind of threatening, and maybe now you're angry about me, or maybe you're sad, or whatsoever. Good, I say. Good. That means you have to figure some stuff out in yourself. So, now the interesting part. You can just now try to de-identify from this side. Maybe you believe the evolutionary thing, maybe you believe the creation thing, maybe you think this new idea from me is fucking amazing and I want to take it, it's mine now. I strongly believe now that we come from another planet. So, and nothing else is true. Yeah, you see, this is a problem already, huh? That's not how it works. So, when you really use the mind like it's supposed to be used, you come up with these ideas that normally I don't even know where this comes from, because is it really my idea? Did I create it? But that's another topic. So now we have this idea here and the other one here. So, and when you're not identified to it, so you don't put this as part of your being, this idea, because it's just an idea. In the end, if you're really honest, you don't know. Then you can collide them and see that they can also exist at the same time. This is interesting, is it? So you can put, for example, the idea I put up, if we came from another planet, but it can still exist at the same time with the evolutionary idea. We maybe evolved on the other planet and then came here, so both can be true at the same time. And now we can even put the third idea and collect the two. They can all be true at the same time. Maybe we were created by a supreme intelligence whatsoever, don't need to name it for now. Then, from this planet, which were maybe also created by the supreme intelligence, so perfectly adapted for ourselves, we evolved, wanted to have another adventure, came to this planet here, for what reason whatsoever. That's also a question for another video. What are we actually doing here on this planet? Maybe there's a bigger purpose to us as a species. Maybe we together can figure that out. Wouldn't that be an adventure worth going on? What are we actually here from Earth? I think that's some exciting quest to be on, huh? Yes, and then the process of evolution is still valid. We are still evolving. And maybe that's even part of the purpose we are here. So you see, now things are getting really interesting, huh? So this just came up for now. This idea, I never had it before in my life. It came up out of the virtual discussion I'm having with you right now because I'm entertaining my mind and then it comes up with new ideas. So this is a completely new idea that I had right now. Maybe one part of the purpose we're doing here is we wanted to evolve and adapt to this specific planet. And then the question is, for what reason? Again, maybe because this gets us to the next step in the journey. So, yes, this is the way you entertain thoughts without identifying to them. And you see, these were like some extreme thoughts because normally for most of the people, I guess, they are really at core identity, the answer to this question. And then at one point in their life, they just put it like, this is it, and then they never change it again. But I think this is very dangerous. It is very dangerous. You should always be able even to question the uttermost core beliefs that you hold. So, because I think this is the only way to slowly come to a deeper and deeper understanding of reality itself. At least in my experience, and it worked quite well for me to find a very solid level of inner peace, if you want to put it like that. And I think that's worth achieving. That's definitely very pleasant, yeah, to have at least this part of life somehow in order. Yes, I hope this was of value for you in what way ever. And feel free to add anything that came up for you if you had your own ideas for maybe where did we come from. Maybe you have a better story. Maybe you can combine it to the other 3 stories we put up here. Or maybe you have an idea what is the purpose actually of our species. Because I believe as we have a purpose as an individual, why shouldn't we have one as a species? Isn't that a question worth answering? Or finding, at least searching for an answer is maybe even worth it. Yes, I guess it's a good ending. And maybe until next time.